We now return to the Animal Chronicles on Dzrj810 AM, the voice of the Philippines. Here's your host, Ana Cabrera.
We're back on the Animal Chronicles, and before we went on that break, Elsie was talking to us about socialization. How exactly do you socialize your dog, Elsie? What are the steps that a pet owner should take?
Well, when the dog is still in its puppy stage, like from the 3rd to the 4th month, the dog needs to be properly exposed to as many different things and stimuli as possible in a safe surrounding, or in a way that is not going to scare the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the dog needs to meet as many people as possible, many different kinds of people. So men, women, children, old people, people in wheelchairs, people with crutches, people with jackets, helmets, sitting beside a motorbike,
Mascots, scary clowns.
Yes, all of that. All of that. And, the dog needs to be able to at that early stage, realize and get comfortable with all of these different things. They also need to be able to be nice and comfortable with other dogs and with other animals like cats and whatever other animals you might have at home. And this needs to happen in that month, between the 3rd and 4th months.
But if the dog is no longer a puppy when you got him, for example, an adopted dog from the shelter, does
Yes.
this mean that the dog cannot be trained anymore?
Well, training and socializing are two different things,
Okay.
huh? Socializing has to do with getting comfortable with its environment.
And this can happen at any age, you think?
The best time really for it to happen is between the 3rd and 4th month
Okay.
of a dog's life. After that, it's still possible, but you need to actively socialize the dog. You need to do it in very well-prepared circumstances. Because when the dog goes into its 4th month, any traumatic experience gets deeply embedded in its fear centers and fear centers of the brain, and it could get generalized.
Oh, so that's why we have some dogs at the shelter that have like they can't be with cats.
Or they could be fearful. So it's not impossible to socialize your dog properly beyond the 4th month, but you need to do it actively.
Mm-hmm.
Between the 3rd and 4th months, it's more natural. Okay. So any good breeder and any good owner would allow its dog or his dog to meet these different people, different animals, be in these different situations. Okay, so that's socializing.
Mm-hmm.
Training, on the other hand, is actively teaching the dog specific behaviors, like the basics. Sit down, leave it, as in, there might be a ball on the floor. You can tell the dog to leave it, not to get the ball. Or if there's a bone, or if you spill some pills on the floor or some candy on the floor, especially chocolates like M&Ms, those are not good for a dog. You can tell the dog to leave it.
And these are supposed to be the basics.
These are basics, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sit down, leave it, stay, and come. Okay.
But most dog owners, Filipino dog owners, think that sit, stay are like tricks. Yeah, tricks that you do to entertain guests. Like, look, my dog knows how to sit. But it's actually a basic thing that a pet owner should be teaching the dog.
Yes, yes. Look, if a dog is sitting, it can't be jumping on you.
Okay.
Right? Because we can only do one thing at a time, right? So if a dog is sitting, it's not jumping on you. So if you don't want your dog to be jumping on grandma as grandma walks in, you ask your dog to sit.
Okay.
Okay. So that's management. And if your dog knows his training, he's going to sit and not jump on grandma. If you're in a big crowded place with a lot of people, and you know that some of the people are probably scared of your dog because your dog might be a, I don't know, big dog. You can ask your dog to go into a down, so your dog is lying on the floor. Okay, that is a management tool. So your dog is not standing up. It's not about to, go and greet somebody with his nose. He's not liable to jump on somebody. He's down on the ground. So these are not just show tricks. They really are management tools or behaviors that you teach your dogs that you can properly manage the situation.
And these things can be taught without, punishing the dog. There are what you call positive reinforcement.
Yes. In fact, that's the best way to teach your dog. I mean, these basic behaviors don't need choke chains at all. I mean, if you've hired somebody to help you train your dog, and he brings out a choke chain for the basics, tell that man to leave your place immediately.
Okay, Elsie, for people who don't know what a choke chain is, can you describe it?
It's a chain link with two round rings at the end, and what you do is you slip the chain through one of the rings, so now you have a noose. Okay, and you slip it over the dog's neck, and you attach the leash to the loose ring. So what happens is if you pull on that, the chain tightens around the dog's neck. Okay, so
this is not good. This is not good for training a dog, the basic training.
Yeah, in fact, you don't need a choke chain. Okay,
and that's different from a slip leash.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, there are, or a slip collar. You mean there are different kinds of slip collars. Okay, it's going a bit technical, but some of the slip collars are acceptable, like the martingale. Okay, martingale collar, because that never really, when it's properly placed, it never really tightens around never chokes the dog.
Okay, it's just good to know that if your trainer brings out a choke chain, that's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. Tell him to leave.
All right, and you can always teach your dog tricks and the basics and good behavior by rewarding him or her.
Yes.
And withholding that reward if you want to correct a bad behavior.
Yes. Yeah. So the best way really to train is using rewards. Okay. Remember, if a behavior is rewarded, that behavior is likely to be repeated. Okay. Because, like you, if you
okay, sige.
if you cook a lovely meal and your husband tells you, "Oh, Anna, this was really wonderful. I love the spaghetti you baked for me." Don't you think you'll feel great?
Yes. Because otherwise he'll get it. No, I'm just kidding, dear. No. He might be listening.
No, but and then wouldn't you like to cook for him again? Getting that kind of response from him. It's the same thing with our companion animals, with our dogs, especially. If the dog says, "Oh, I've just put my butt on the floor and my mom gave me a really nice piece of cookie. Maybe if I do this again, she'll give me another cookie." And your dog will keep sitting. Okay? So you can actually use that to train your dog, and you can use that to train any behavior. Okay.
Wow, that's good. Yes, and then for